Anchoring in the shallow harbor that night, they tried to alert the colonists by sounding a trumpet, by singing English folk songs loudly, by calling out to the people on shore. There was no answer. In the morning, they went to the fort. It was completely empty. Carved into the tree near the village were the letters CRO. On one of the palisade posts was the word Croatoan. There was no cross indicating any trouble. All that they found inside the fort were bars of iron, pigs of lead, iron shot. Once buried chests lay overturned, ransacked, including White's own possessions. The pinnace used by the colonists was gone. Weeds grew everywhere. John White returned to England. Due to storms, politics, money, history, he never set foot in the New World again. But other explorers did. John Smith, friend of Pocahontas, heard from two Indian tribes that clothed men still lived in the area. Later, Pocahontas's father admitted being part of an attack on the colonists. Smith did not speak of this until 14 years after returning to England. Another explorer, William Strachey, heard rumors in 1610 of Indians whose slaves built them stone walled houses. Others heard stories of blond, blue eyed natives, yet no such clothed men, slaves, or blond natives were ever found. Centuries later, the Lumbee of North Carolina claimed their ancestors were both Indian and English. In 1998, archaeologists discovered an English signet ring on a dig in nearby Hatteras Island. Could it have belonged to one of the lost colonists? No one can really be sure. The Lumbee people are a tribe who live primarily in and around Robeson County, which is inland in North Carolina, just above the South Carolina border. They are convinced that the colonists from Roanoke married into the tribe. In fact, a number of them have the same last name as some of the Roanoke settlers. So, what really happened? According to my dad, no one knows for sure, but now you have the whole story. You have studied my notes, the timeline, and the word list. Perhaps you can solve the mystery of the Roanoke colony. Maybe you'll believe one of the old theories of what happened, or maybe you'll come up with a theory of your own. Only remember, as my dad always says, check your clues. Number one, the no survivors theory. The colonists of Roanoke Colony were killed by the local native people, bent on revenge, or by the Spanish explorers who also wanted to colonize the same area. Did either group have reason for killing the colonists? Was there any evidence of murder? Was there any sign of distress, such as an engraved cross? Absorbed by native people theory, the colonists lived with the native people and eventually became part of the tribes by either marrying into the group or being captured as slaves. What would have made the colonists leave their homes? Was there any evidence of fighting? Did the native people keep slaves, and were any European slaves ever sighted or found? Do the Lumbus Day people claim to have European ancestors? The lost at sea theory. The colonists tried to sail home to England and got lost at sea. Could the pinnace have carried 100 colonists? Could it have gotten through Spanish blockades or fought a major battle? Could it have survived major storms? Did the colonists leave clues as to where they were going? Did they bring the weapons and possessions? The split community theory. The majority of the Roanoke colonists took the boat and sailed north as planned to Chesapeake, leaving behind a small contingent at the fort. The smaller group eventually left to go to Croatoan Island. What clues were left behind? Were any of the colonists ever found at either Croatoan Island or Chesapeake? What would have made them split up? The White Doe theory. There is a legend that Virginia Dare was raised by the Croatoan people, and when she refused to marry an old medicine man who loved her, he turned her into a white deer. Even today, people claim to see a mysterious white deer bounding through the North Carolina forests. Is there credible evidence of shape shifting spells, why would the local native people tell stories about Virginia Dare? These are the 5 most popular explanations ever given. Are any of them right? Nobody knows for sure. Not the police, not the lawyers, not the reporters, not the historians, and not even my dad. It is a mystery still waiting to be solved. It is, as my dad says, an open file. But I've got my own theory about what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke, and maybe now you do too.